Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from that. What's it up, baby? You already know it is the big boss high boss dog. K-Po through the dough. Here to talk this boxing. Good morning. Before I get to my soliloquy, remember, tough times don't last. Good people do. Don't off yourself. Caught them in that highlight. Maybe you brought a big boss back. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna be on your throat again. Pause, no diddy. Anyway, I was watching Mill City Boxing. Shout out to him. And he had Coach Kenny Ellis. He had Keyshawn Davis. He had Gilly the Kid on there. It was a great show, entertaining, funny. Gilly the Kid, man, he knows boxing, and and he gonna keep it him. That's what I respect about Gilly, man. He gonna keep it him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't fake or flaunting. He don't care who you are. He gonna be him. He gonna say what he needs to say. You know what I'm saying? So much respect to Gilly the Kid, man. I want to talk about Keyshawn Davis. Because Keyshawn Davis on the, podcast kind of stood his ground about how he has a desire to fight Tank. He said, hey, Tank is the best, and he want to measure himself against the best. You know what I mean? And, he told Coach Kenny Ellis, I'm from Virginia. I'm like that. I think he's from Norfolk. So he was like, I'm like that. We don't play that around here. I'm a dog. And you see it. Of course, Coach Kenny was like, look, man, just focus on building yourself without mentioning Tank's name. And, of course, Keyshawn had an issue with that. He was like, why wouldn't I say his name? Why do you have a problem with me saying his name? And Coach Kenny Ellis was like, well, you mentioning his name to get some clout. Basically, he didn't say it like that, but he's coming off like he said that. He said, y'all mentioned Tank's name so y'all could get recognition, so y'all could, get people to, want to come watch you fight and all that. And he said, look, just, keep doing what you're doing without mentioning Tank's name, right? Then he proceeds to go on and say, hey, look, and this is Coach Kenny said, look, if you take care of Frank, just keep building your brand. And Keyshawn said, look, he said, when I take care of Frank, I'm on your boy. Pause, no diddy. That's what he said. Keyshawn Davis basically said when he beat Frank Martin, he finna beat on Javante Tank Davis head. Right? So let's talk about Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin, right? That's a fight that I've talked about in the past. Keyshawn Davis is coming off of a decent performance, where, he had to box a little more, use a lot of movement and things like that. It was exciting, though. I say this. It was an exciting fight. Keyshawn Davis, I said, what's his name? Abdullah. I don't want to say his first name wrong. So Abdullah Mason. That's his name. I said Amir Abdullah. That's the running back. Abdullah Mason, stole the show. Keyshawn Davis, and I'm talking about on that fight card. Keyshawn Davis had a, like I say, pretty good performance on that said night. But Frank Martin versus Keyshawn Davis, to me, right now, is a landslide. I'm picking Frank Martin. I think Keyshawn Davis is a good fighter. I think Keyshawn Davis has a lot of potential, and he will be a champion one day. I think if he fight Frank Martin right now, he will lose to Frank Martin. I think Frank Martin stops Keyshawn Davis. And I may be the Lone Ranger, no. It's just things that I see in Keyshawn Davis defensively. Now granted, everybody, is prisoners of the moment. They're going to say, oh, Tank Davis stopped, knocked out Frank Martin. So what you think, Keyshawn Davis going to do? Well, I think Frank Martin's a little bit more polished as a fighter. I feel like Frank Martin has more in his arsenal. And he was doing pretty good against Tank. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, it was part of Tank's game plan to let Frank Martin get off. Pause, no diddy. You know what I'm saying? It was part of his game plan to allow certain things to happen so Tank can be able to set up his offense and get that knockout, right? But I just think that Keyshawn Davis, with the level of competition he's been in the ring with, I don't know if right now he'll be able to beat Frank Martin. He definitely has the power. He has the pop. He got, he has the talent. And we're going to keep it funky. He got the talent to, to basically beat Frank Martin. But I think that it's going to come down to experience. And I just feel like Frank Martin has a little bit more experience. Now, granted, I know somebody's going to bring up the amateurs. They're going to say, oh, well, Keyshawn Davis fought in the Olympics as an amateur, and, he accomplished this, that, and the third. And that's true. That's cool. But I just think as a professional, right? Because even Keyshawn Davis said this, what you did in the amateurs don't matter now. We grown. We professionals, right? That's what he said. So, as a professional, I think that Frank Martin is more battle-tested, right? And a more polished fighter right now. Now, Keyshawn Davis continues to develop up his level of competition. Like I said, I definitely think I would choose Keyshawn Davis over Frank Martin. But as of right now, if they fought next, I'm picking Frank Martin by stoppage. I still think Frank Martin, bro, is a problem at 135. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I believe. I think Frank Martin can beat a lot of top guys, because of his style. And I think he learned a lot from this Tank fight. You even heard Tank say, you should have waited. You should have waited, right? But hey, you're going to get what you're going to get right now. This is what you wanted, you're going to get. And that's what it is. So I think when you look at that fight, Keyshawn Davis, he's explosive. He offers that, and offensively, he is explosive. I just think Frank Martin's going to be able to expose him defensively. I don't think Keyshawn Davis defensively is as polished as he is offensively. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? I think his offensive arsenal is phenomenal. I just think defensively he need a little bit more time to develop and polish himself up. You know what I mean? Because when you start getting on that top level, your defense got to be A1. It's easy to have your defense look a certain way against a certain guy, in a certain fight, you know what I'm saying, and make yourself look a certain way. But when you get in there with another guy, and I'm not saying Frank Martin elite, I'm just saying Frank Martin is a polished fighter. You know what I'm saying? He up there in that echelon, he like on the threshold of top fighters, you know what I'm saying, at 135, but I think when you up there with those guys, your defense got to be crispy, and I just think Frank gonna be able to expose that. I actually think Frank Martin got a little bit better feet than Keyshawn. If I had to go skill for skill, I would look at it like this, right? And I know I'm all over the place because I'm thinking about so much, right? If you look at explosiveness, I would go Keyshawn's more explosive than Frank. I say Frank Martin's feet work is better than Keyshawn's. I would say IQ, I would say it's about even, right? Defense, I would say Frank Martin is a little bit better defensively than Frank Martin, right? IQ, right now, I would go Frank Martin. Right now. Like I said, Keyshawn Davis get a little bit more experience under his belt. Start fighting tougher fights. It may be a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just think Keyshawn need to keep fighting and get that experience under his belt. And then, boom. I would pick Keyshawn over Frank Martin. But as the fight looms right now, I got Frank Martin by stoppage. Like I said, I see that jab being able to land that wheel. I think Frank will be able to expose Keyshawn offensively. Defensively. Keyshawn Davis ain't never had nobody go to his body like that. And like I said, Keyshawn Davis, at times, he's inexperienced in certain areas. So he gonna want to try to turn it up when he not supposed to turn it up. And that's when I think Frank Martin gonna catch him. You gotta have situational awareness when it comes to certain things. And I just think that, you know, in the moment, when you get in certain moments as a fighter, you gotta know when to do stuff. I don't feel like Keyshawn Davis right now is at that moment where he knows what to do in certain situations. You know what I mean? When he get put in that blender, when he get put, you know, to the test, when he got another dude who a dog, another top fighter across that ring that's, you know, gonna push you, right? I don't know if Keyshawn right now is at that point, is ready for that and know what to do. You know what I mean? So I'm very interested to see, you know, what Keyshawn Davis is gonna do. Now, do I have an issue with Keyshawn Davis calling out Gervonta Tank Davis? I don't. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to want to fight the top guys. But I understand what Coach Kenny Ellis is saying. He like, look, bro, it seemed like you only calling Tank out because you want some clout. You know? And it looks that way. But I also see Keyshawn Davis' side where he like, look, I just want to fight the top guys. Why shouldn't I mention Tank? You know what I mean? He a man like me. So, you know, why wouldn't I want to fight him? You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to hold you. I have no problem with him calling out Tank. You should want to fight the best, you know? And that's just what it is. Y'all know my motto, the best fight the best. So you should want to fight the best, you know? But I'm telling you right now, if Keyshawn Davis end up getting that fight, let's say Keyshawn Davis beats Frank Martin, and Tank said, all right, cool, we can fight. I'm telling you right now, Keyshawn Davis getting sleepy. That's just what it is. I don't care if Keyshawn Davis get experience, no experience, he getting sleepy. You know what I mean? Because when you fight Tank, you know, one thing I pay attention to is stuff you say. Keyshawn Davis said, I'm a dog. You're going to need more than being a dog to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. That's just what it is. You're going to need more than dog work to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is a complete fighter. And I'm telling you, Keyshawn Davis in for a rude awakening. See, he mentioning dog work and I'm going to be a dog. And that's cool. You could be a dog. You could be a dog and get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? You know? I've seen people with dogs. They dogs act up. The dog get their ass whooped. You know? So all I'm saying at the end of the day, every dog got his day. You know? Keyshawn got to focus on continue to build his brand, right? But developing himself as a fighter. But I think that, you know, that particular fight, I don't care if he get experience, no experience. You know, he experienced pain, experienced love. I don't care what experience he get. When it comes down to Gervonta Tank Davis, he getting sleepy. That's what it is. I don't care what you talking about. I don't care how you word it, slice it or dice it. You know, I had a brother on the last live. He was, yeah, Keyshawn Davis, you know, Keyshawn Davis can beat Tank. Yeah, all right. You know, yeah, all right. Like I say, there are many other fights that I think Keyshawn Davis can be successful in. You know what I mean? But I think Keyshawn Davis can beat Shakur Stevenson. And that's just real talk. I think he can beat Shakur. And he should be calling out Shakur. He say he the best at 135. He should be calling out Shakur Stevenson. Is he doing that? Nah, because that's his bro or whatever they call each other. I don't know what's going on. So, but to get back on topic, Frank Martin versus Keyshawn Davis, if they fought right now, I got Frank Martin. Y'all let me know that thing. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Big boss. Got him.